Hey, what is up, y'all? Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope everyone's having a good start to their week this week. I apologize for this coming on Tuesday and not on Monday. We actually decided the schedule really, or finalized the schedule, I should say, really, really late on Sunday evening. And our graphics guy is a good adult and goes to bed at a normal human hour. So I wasn't able to get him the stuff to get the graphics done in time. 100% this guy's fault. But that said, let's go ahead and get into it. It's a shorter week, seeing as it's Tuesday, but that doesn't mean there's less content. So here we go. Let's get into it, shall we? So starting off here in just under 2 hours, actually, there are 12 cases of boxes. 12 cases of boxes. 12 cases, 12 boxes. There are 12 boxes that have arrived from Essen this past weekend, and we're going to go through about half of them today, 2 o'clock. So 1400 EST, that's the Eastern Standard Time for those scoring at home, 1900 GMT, and 8 p.m. over in Europe. We're doing Essen unboxing number 2 of 3. So we're going to go through half those. I'll be honest, I don't remember exactly what all's in those boxes, so it is like Christmas here too. So this will be exciting. Not all of these games will they make the show, meaning here on YouTube. Some will be only talked about on the podcast. Some will get reviews on the podcast. The games will dictate what kind of coverage they get, so we shall see. But yeah, today, 2 o'clock, so in 2 hours, I will be back with y'all wearing something different, streaming the unboxing. So there we go. So that is first thing up. Then tomorrow, notice the time change. Today, 2 p.m. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 1500 GMT, 1600 over in Europe. Essen boxing, well, I guess if it's Essen, it's 3, not 3. 3, the final one. So whatever we don't get to today, we will get to tomorrow. You might be asking yourself, 10 a.m. Wow, that's awfully early if you're especially on the West Coast. That is true. I have therapy tomorrow. I got to make sure I make that on time. I love you guys. That's important to me, though. So therefore, 10 a.m. So that's what we have going on tomorrow, being Wednesday. Then on Thursday, so that will cover all of the games then that I will have picked up at Essen. Then on Thursday, game that I had a very tiny impact on getting reprinted, but nonetheless, I'm excited it got reprinted. Key Market from Richard Breeze and R&D. Thursday, December 12th, 1900 Eastern Standard Time. That's midnight GMT. That's 1 o'clock in the morning across the pond. Sorry, Richard, but people work here, have day jobs. I can only stream when they're available. So there we go. Full teach, play, and discussion of the aforementioned reprints with new guilds of Key Market. So I'm looking forward to that very, very much. That should be a really good time, good group of folks on that one. Then we're not done. On Friday, it's not listed here because it's not anything live. On Friday, there will be 3 folks that you are very, very familiar with if you are watching this, if you watch YouTube, that are going to do the top 50 of all time of right now. Okay, full disclosure, this guy will be doing a top 50. The other 2 people will be doing top 20s. So what does that mean? That means you'll get it on the podcast next week. So there's that. Call it the Christmas episode. Speaking of which, one more thing before we get to the rest of the schedule. I recently sat for to be interviewed, which is shoes on the other foot here, with Ben Maddox of 5 Games for Doomsday. And it was very much not really about board games. It was very much about me and some really, really heavy topics. So if you want to learn more about me, or maybe you don't, if you do, check that out. Ben told me that that's probably going to release right before Christmas over on 5 Games for Doomsday. So check that out if you are so inclined. I think it was a pretty enlightening and impactful interview. It should be interesting for those that choose to listen to it. It's definitely not light Christmas fare. Keep that in mind. But I think it went pretty well. I listened to it already, at least the unedited version, and think it went pretty well. So check that out over on 5 Games for Doomsday. All right, but then on Sunday, we've threatened it, we've promised it, it's finally here. So on Sunday, we have Knizia Day, the Big 3 auction trilogy for Knizia. So on Sunday, December 15th, starting at noon, we're going to be starting with the game you see over my right shoulder, Medici. Full teach, play, and discussion at noon. That is what? I'm having to do the math because I can't read it. 5 p.m. GMT. That's 6 p.m. across the pond over in Europe. Full teach, play, and discussion of Medici. And then after that stream is done, we're going to tear that down, set up modern art, and whenever that is ready, and maybe we have a bite to eat or a quick drink or something, we're going to then follow that streaming with modern art, the second of the big 3, and then tear that down, and then set up Raw. Raw is one of my favorite games. I would argue probably my favorite Knizia game. That's going to be the nightcap, or evening cap, as it were, I guess, on Sunday. So Medici, and then whenever that's done, modern art. Then whenever that's done, Raw. Keep in mind, we do have to set the games up in between for the cameras and everything else. So hopefully you guys join us for Knizia auction day. That should be a good time. Martin Fowler was the one who thought about it, or came up with it, and he came up with this a number of months ago. I want to say like 4, 5, 6 months ago, and we've postponed it a couple times, this and that, but looking forward that is finally going to come to be, so it should be a good time. All right, so looking forward to that. And for those that are asking about transhumanity, it is coming, provided schedule. With the holidays, it makes it difficult to lock down schedules for everybody. Family, people have family stuff. So PAX Transhumanity is coming. I don't want to swear on a stack of Bibles that it'll be in December, but we're trying like hell to get it done in December. If not, it will be. This I will promise. By mid-January, we will have streamed it. How's that? Okay? For those asking about PAX Transhumanity. I promise. Okay? So there you go. Looking forward to doing this. Hopefully you guys are looking forward to this week. Again, a plug for, today's the 10th. I want to say sometime in the next 2 weeks. So between now and the 24th, the 5 Games for Doomsday interview should air. So check that out over on 5 Games for Doomsday. Also, if you haven't heard the City of the Big Shoulders review that Martin and I did over on the podcast, you can go to heavycardboard.com. or your favorite podcast player. We're still working on getting it over onto Spotify. And last but not least, like, subscribe, do all that. Go to pledgehc.com, support the show there. When we hit 800 patrons, we get an upgraded or an additional camera. We are really excited about that. So help us make that happen. It helps you, helps us, helps you. Everyone drives home in a Cadillac. You guys have a great rest of your next hour and 46 minutes, and I will see you guys at 2 o'clock for part 2 of the Essen unboxing. Later, y'all.